Naples native Daryl Abraham is a nationally recognized artist who works in wood, clay, lost wax, metal, and paint. Daryl's folk creations defy classification. By using sculpture and illustration, he is able to portray the everyday life of the unsung heroes of rural America. Daryl adds humor and compassion to the struggles and joys of ordinary folk.
Well, I usually average a piece a month, and early in the morning is when I work the best. I usually keep 2 or 3 going, and maybe a couple hours on each piece.
Abraham's vignettes embody the finest folk traditions, too, in that they participate in the very thing they represent. Sometimes they proclaim the act of making, depicting common people in the act of building, of cobbling together lives out of various odds and ends. Like them, the artist is a laborer in the world, and his art is an act of communication as well as expression. And if the artist shares the labors of the common man, so the common laborer shares the artist's ecstasy of spirit.
It's got lights, although I haven't got a place to hook it up out here, but inside you can see the Holstein herd being milked. The replica of the wall is still left. A lot of this is balsa wood, and when I run out of that, usually I'll take the bandsaw and just cut slabs of wood too, and glue those on a piece of plywood. The shingles are all cut from a little heavier grade of paper, kind of like that paper that's in the shirts come in. It's not a cardboard, but it's a little thicker than paper. The tractor, the figures, I used to cast a lot of these pieces and make them out of lost wax and then turn them into either bronze or aluminum, but that got to be, there were a lot of steps involved and inexpensive, so I started taking wire and building like a wire armature.
Daryl Abraham received a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree and his master's from the University of North Carolina. He has exhibited his work in such venues as the Corcoran Gallery of Art, the Smithsonian Institute, and the Rochester Memorial Art Gallery. The United States Embassy in Tokyo and the Museum of American Art in Washington, D.C. are but 2 of the many collections which include his work.
To get this soft diffused area in a painting, you've got to lay all these things down on wet paper. And depending on how wet the paper is and how saturated your brush is with paint, because you get a fade factor then when you got water and mixing in with the pigment. So you just have to lay the right amount of pigment down. And this is probably very spontaneous. What I did is drew these in detail. and then kind of nitpicked at the foreground. Everyone that I do is, and the reason there's a passion behind them is they are flowers from my garden. And that's my second passion. I think if I weren't an artist, I would like to be a musician and too a gardener. This is my deck, and summer flowers. And the still lifes take a long time to draw, and they're a little fastidious, but the end result is great for slides. They photograph well. And in the wintertime, they bring a lot of comfort and solace in summer into the house, particularly when it's cold and blustery outside. I remember all the fun I have out in the garden. So that's why I decided I would talk about that, because flowers do play an important part in my life. Magical about water and light, the way it strikes water and the reflections that we get from it, and the different times of day, how it changes color. This happens to be the south end of Long Lake, where I spend a lot of my summer. It's a quiet water area, a lot of water lilies and marsh up in that end, and heron hangs around there. And I have painted these things over and over again, different times of day, different light, and it's just a great feeling of peacefulness. It's a place that I lose myself. And when I leave, I cry every time I leave the mountains. My husband says, you know, you never get over that. But I think it's a place, it's a refuge. And we all need a refuge.
Specializing in classic cedar canvas canoes, professional boat builder Patrick Smith builds, repairs, and restores traditional canoes. After working 21 years as a carpenter and general contractor, Pat opened his own canoe shop in 1991 called the West Hollow Boat Company. The shop is situated on 70 acres of hardwood forest just 30 miles south of Rochester, New York, right in the heart of the Bristol Hills wine country of the Finger Lakes region. Pat Smith's canoes are individually handcrafted. Each boat is a work of art. He is aware of the special characteristics each tree has and makes careful selections as to the continuity of wood, grain, and color. Pat's lumber supplies also include Vermont-grown eastern white cedar and imported exotic hardwoods.
The highlight or the heyday of these canoes was around anywhere from 1910 up to just before World War II. And then after the war, materials started changing. The techniques of building a boat went over to aluminum and fiberglass.
In Pat's canoe building process, every frame is steam bent over his uniquely designed form. Matched planks are then closely fit and hand nailed with brass tacks.
And we clamp the canvas into that and we pull it up over the side of the gunwale.
Next, the heavy canvas is added. The canvas is stretched, tight, filled, sanded, and painstakingly hand-painted. The seats are hand-caned and handsomely fashioned. Pat custom carves the paddles, carrying yokes, and thwarts, creating the finishing touches on the finest canoes available.
There's about 2,500 to 3,000 tacks in a boat, and that's all that holds the canoe together is the tacks.
Pat has taught many classes in traditional boat building to youth and adults in diverse educational settings, including Camp Sagamore's Adirondack Boat Building School.
This boat here came off a Cayuga Lake, so it's typical of what they would have built 1930s, 40s, somewhere in there, before fiberglass and aluminum. And this would have been a fishing boat or a skiff.
Pat is a charter member of Wooden Canoe Builders Guild and Wooden Canoes Heritage Association. Experience the fine art of traditional canoe building at Patrick Smith's West Hollow Boat Company.